This is Your Other Brothers Podcast.
Sorta. What up, y'all? I'm looking for a new intro. I gotta switch things up on this new edition of the Corona ConvoCast. My name is Tom, and I'm the editor, co-founder of Your Other Brothers. We are a community navigating faith, homosexuality, masculinity, and now coronavirus together. So thanks, y'all, for being here. I'm having such a blast getting to connect with different members of the YOB community, or what I'm calling the YOB-adjacent community, people who have guested on the podcast before, or maybe they just like really enjoy our blog content or listen to our content. And I'm just really excited to just have these check-ins and conversations with people across the board, across the spectrum in different parts of the world, and just, talk about coronavirus, because this is this unifying thing that's affecting all of us, but also just have some fun and connect and hopefully spark a little joy along the way as well. So I'm really excited to bring back, this guest. We've had him on a couple times lately after going through an inexcusable drought of life without him. So we're welcoming back to the show from the other side of the USA. It's our other brother, Matt. What's up, Matt?
What up, everyone?
Matt, how are you doing?
To be honest, I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this era of time hitting you hard? Has it been challenging?
Some ways, yes. Other ways, no.
Because Matt, the big running joke with you in our friend circles, and even on YOB, I think, in some level, is that you love church, you love people, you love Bible studies, you love groups. It seemed like every single day you have some sort of social function happening. And so just like on a purely relational level, like how are you handling the new way of doing things? All the Zooms and all the digital sermons and all the everything digital.
Okay, so all the whole social media, digital talk, video chats, whatever, those are saving my life, because for myself, I'm a very social person. I'm a very extroverted person. And since I can't really hang out with people, my top love language is like quality time with people. So dude, it's digging like in my social life. And honestly, I hate it right now. I'm not really a introverted person, like probably to a point, but other than that, like once that I hit that limit, is like I need to hang out with somebody. I need to hang out with people. But unfortunately, since this epidemic is going on, it's been straining on me, and I hate it so much.
Yeah. Well, you're not alone. You're like, you're not alone in that regard. Introverted, extroverted. I think we're all feeling it on some level here. You gave me an inspirational idea the other day. So the other day I was walking around the neighborhood, because that's my thing now. I'm just the neighborhood walker. Big fan of neighborhood walking. If y'all haven't tried it, you need to try.
Well, hopefully you're not the neighborhood creeper.
No, hopefully not. I'm sure people are looking out their window, because I look the same every single time. I have this like blue ceramic mug that I drink coffee out of while I walk around the neighborhood with my headphones in, listening to a podcast. And so they're probably just like, what is he doing? There he is again. He's walking past with his blue mug and his whatever he's listening to. But I did an Instagram live the other day, Matthew, which you appeared on, or you commented on, and you suggested that I should go longboarding, which I can't believe I've never even thought about doing that. But and I expressed initial hesitation about it, because I figured this would probably be the time that I twist my ankle or do something tragic on a longboard, when it's like the last thing the hospitals need right now is me rolling in with a leg going 3 different directions. But I'm warming up to it. We'll see. I haven't actually gone longboarding yet during this coronavirus stretch, but I'm feeling more and more inclined to do that soon.
Well, since you speak of longboarding, you can tell what you are seeing on your end if I put the camera.
Oh my gosh,
are you
longboarding right now?
not right now, but I do have my longboard. Yeah. I'm at a park right now. It's a very sunny 70 degrees New Mexico weather right now.
Wow.
And I needed to get out of the house. So, it's a perfect day out here. And while you're seeing like beautiful skies, I'm under a tree, I'm sitting on my longboard. Dude, whenever you get the chance, Tom, go longboarding. You're not going to regret it unless like you injure yourself or something like that.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about taking when it's going to be cold the next couple days, but I think it's going to warm up by the weekend. And I'm thinking about going on like a 3 mile longboarding journey to. There's this water tower. There's this really famous water tower here in Asheville that has like a slogan painted on it. So I was thinking about going over there, taking a picture or two, and then basically longboarding back. I think that would be a good excursion for me. But you should go longboarding to close this podcast. I think that would be a cool aesthetic to hear the sound of the wheels hitting the pavement as you sign off. I think that would be really cool.
Well, that's if I can. I mean, if you can hear it. So,
Oh,
well,
it would
I'll
pick up. It would totally
okay.
pick up.
All right. Well, I'm going to try that after
Yeah.
we're getting done here. So, yeah.
Yeah. You've got 14 minutes to prepare for that.
Okay then.
That moment.
Well, I'm by
Yeah.
the road, so yeah, sure, I'll do it.
Cool. Well, Matt, have you thought about anything? I like these conversations to be totally spontaneous and freeform, but was there anything that you wanted to talk about today?
Yeah, actually, I do. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if you've had any stories about like fun, exciting stuff to do, like I don't know, to uplift people. So maybe like other people that you've talked to in the past, besides Nate, um, talked about. It's like, hey, let's go talk about like I don't know, coloring or I don't know, whatever. Yeah.
Do you have something uplifting to talk to us about today?
Actually, no. I'm going to talk the opposite of
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Perfect.
Unfortunately,
I love that stuff.
yeah, it's within your quote
So
unquote poorness.
instead of uplifting, you're going to downlift us. So
Yeah.
please downlift
Yeah.
us.
Okay. So I actually wanted to talk about like tragedy within this
Mm.
whole coronavirus epidemic, like what to do with tragedy in the midst of it. So for all the I don't know viewers listening, as of like we're recording today, like it's March, end of March, middle of the week. Unfortunately, I have some sad news within my family. We had a tragedy within again my family, and one of my cousins who I live with aunt and uncle and their sons. One of them passed away this weekend, and it's actually been pretty hard, and it's been pretty hard because I mean we're going through this epidemic and everything's kind of shut down. Hospitals are full. Funeral homes are kind of a bit busy with the death toll rising and everything, and yeah, so it's been crazy, and yeah, he my cousin passed away this weekend. He was in his mid 30s, and I don't want to get into like the whole detail, but it was very traumatic for all of us.
Mm.
My aunt and uncle just being in my bedroom, just like listening to the whole sounds of just grievance and crying and all that stuff, and just like praying for them. And the the family got together through phone, through um, video calls, video chats, and everything. And surprisingly, my parents came out all the way from the Navajo reservation, which is like a 4 to 5 hour drive from their place all the way out here where I live at. And it was good to see my folks because I haven't seen them since Christmas. But through what we're going through right now, to be honest, like this is basically the eight um, in me coming out. It sucks. It definitely sucks with dealing with tragedy and loss of a family member. And we're definitely holding on to what Scripture has to say about having this hope, grieving with hope. Yeah, because I like to quote Levi Lesko from Fresh Life Church, where he says that hurting with hope still hurts, and we're definitely gonna deal with that. With yes, we have hope, but we're still gonna hurt, and we're still gonna um, have this ache in our heart and this sadness in our heart of just like a family member's gone, somebody that we knew very, very well, who was very close to us, that I saw almost every day. He's gone now. And yeah, I mean, not to be like a Debbie Downer, but this is also reality too. That, hey, it's like maybe a listener here is actually dealing with tragedy, and it's not only tragedy, but a tragedy in the midst of this coronavirus epidemic as well. It's like, what do you do with that?
Yeah.
And I think that's like a question for myself, and not only for myself, but like for people who have have dealt with death in this epidemic. What do you do with this?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, prayers go out to you, Matthew, about that situation. That's rough. And I actually, even before I learned that about you and your family, like this week, I've been thinking a lot about death, and certainly death as it relates to coronavirus. So anyone who contracts the disease and then ultimately dies from it. I've been thinking about that a lot more lately. But then I've also been thinking about just people who die in general. Like people are still dying from other things, other causes during this time. I even had an extended family member this week lose a loved one. And I had to like, it's so unbearable to like see the reactions online because they can't have a funeral. They can't have people congregating together. And that's so disruptive, and that's so strange that you can't even come together as a family or as a bunch of loved ones to grieve as you would normally during this time, because it's not the wisest, healthiest thing to do during this current spot on the calendar that we are. And so yeah, my heart is going out to all those people who are losing loved ones, whether from the pandemic or just in general, people passing away as life goes. And so I don't know, it's tough stuff. I was feeling convicted because up until this week of pondering death and tragedy, I was thinking more so just about inconvenience, like, oh, like all the things are closed and there's no sports and this and that, or even things like, someone was going to get married and then they had to put off their wedding. Like, oh, that's so inconvenient. But like there's legitimate tragedy happening right now. And I want to acknowledge that story and make sure that people feel, not alone, that their stories are valid and that they're not alone walking this out, because tragedies are still happening.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it definitely sucks because we're going through that as well, because we're trying to figure out what are we going to do, because usually for my family, whenever death strikes, we usually have a family meeting. Everybody gets together, we talk about what's going on, our feelings, all the stuff, and through that we plan like what we're going to do for the funeral. But since we can't get together, we're kind of doing this alone. We're kind of like doing this in the dark in a way, and it definitely sucks. I know we'll definitely get through this. We're definitely planning something, but for now we're taking our time, and we're validating like our feelings, you could say, the reality of what's going on, and just like trusting in the Lord right now. So I mean, it's funny. I know that I'm probably gonna get like emails or messages or whatever, and I do appreciate all of you guys condolences and worries and all that stuff. But to be honest, like for myself, I'm fine. I've dealt with death before with other family members. My Nully Man, which is my grandfather on my dad's side, my aunts and uncles on my dad's side, my auntie on my mom's side, cousins. So this isn't like a unusual territory. And for myself, you know me, I'm a very strong-willed person. So
Yeah,
and you hardly see me cry before too. So I'm not going to start now.
you don't have to cry on the podcast, but feel the freedom to cry if you haven't already. It does wonders for the soul, let me tell you.
It does.
Yeah.
I mean, I've cried before, but just now's not the time.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
We'll be praying for you, Matt. It's rough stuff, I know. But man, like what else? We got a few minutes left, Matt. Dear Matt, anything else you want to chat about during our Corona convo?
Actually, yes. So since we started off and talked about like kind of the downers of coronavirus, I actually want to put some positive moments on here.
Please do.
Yeah, actually, a few weeks ago, my family also learned that there was some other extended family members who got the virus.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, they're aunts and uncles. They're in their 50s going on up. And these aunts and uncles that we know, of course, some of them landed in the hospital. Some of them had mild symptoms and everything, but they're all out on the Navajo reservation. So we definitely prayed for them out here where we're at, where we're located, wherever we were at, and we got good news actually this weekend. Majority of them are recovering or have recovered, and some of them already have the green light to go back to work. They don't have the virus anymore, and that's definitely a good news for my family, and that's like definitely like praise reports like from God as well. And yeah, so I know we're gonna get through this. My family's getting through this. People on the reservation, I know that they're going to get through this, and no matter what, it's like we have to be positive about this. We have to believe in hope, and I mean that's all we have. Else we have nothing, and we have to hold on to something. And I think that like faith in God is is going to be a huge thing as well.
That's awesome that your family is recovering, man. Good news.
Yeah.
I feel like that's going to be an increasingly common story that we all know somebody, because I still don't know anybody personally in my life, friend or family, who's contracted the virus. And so I almost feel like it's inevitable at this point, the way the curve keeps going. Like eventually I'm going to know somebody, whatever degree of separation. And so I feel like that's something that's going to hit closer and closer to home for all of us as these weeks ahead go by.
Yep, definitely. I agree.
Yeah. Well, in our closing minutes, Matthew, what is like, obviously you're out at a beautiful park right now. You got your longboard with you. Are there any moments of just like gratitude or appreciation or silver linings that you're seeing to all of this? Because I know you hate that all the social things are shut down, but like, I don't know, is there anything that you're taking from this time?
I would say what I'm taking this whole thing is appreciating quiet time, appreciating alone time, solitude. That's definitely a huge thing that I'm appreciating right now. And it's one thing that I've never thought of before. I never like actually took for granted. And yeah, now like, dude, I get to have my quiet time both in the mornings and also the evenings. And
all the quiet times. But
I know once like the whole I don't know, stay at home stuff is lifted up and we can finally hang out. Dude, I'm gonna go like hang out with my friends, stay out till like 1 o'clock in the morning and all that stuff, and definitely enjoy it. So I can't wait for things to go back to normal.
I am like anticipating what that looks like the first day that by and large we as a country can go back to normal. And that's such a weird phrase. Like, I don't know what that even means. Like, what does it mean for us to go back to normal? Is it all going to happen at once? Is it going to be like phased in? But I feel like there's going to be some definitive day in the future, and it might be different days for different parts of the country, different parts of the world. But there'll be like some kind of big celebration that's like, we did it, y'all. We conquered this thing, and it was awful. It was horrible. We lost lives along the way, but as a society, we like survived it. We made it to the other side. And I'm so expectant and anticipatory for that, for that day. That's like a huge motivator to keep going, honestly, is anticipating that celebration to come.
Yep. And I can't wait for that.
Yeah. Well, Matthew, are you mobile? Are you moving?
Yep. I am moving as you can see.
If y'all can hear the wheels on pavement before, I'm getting a visual of Matthew. Yeah, just the breeze blowing through his hair, trees going by, not a human soul around him. What a pandemic life you're leading. That was awesome.
I know, right?
I definitely, I will have to longboard again. And then when we have another Corona cast with you, I can confirm that I went longboarding during this pandemic. I think
Good,
that's something to motivate me before I bring you back.
good. Well, if we once I'm back on here, dude, I got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about.
Oh, I know you do. When do you not have a whole bunch of stuff to talk about?
True,
When
true.
are you just blank? When are you dry?
Ha, that's true.
Yes, don't worry. We'll get back to the regular show eventually. I'm enjoying this stretch right now where it's a chance to like really like make the rounds, see how everyone's doing. We're all experiencing this worldwide unifying thing, and so I'm excited to keep having these conversations. So thanks for joining us here today, dear Matthew.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and we'll be back real soon, y'all, for another edition of the Corona ConvoCast. I didn't even mention at the top, Matthew, that up until this recording, I had been debating what to even call this. I had done 2 interviews or 2 conversations with different guys, Nate and Marshall, and I didn't even know what this was called yet. I was experimenting with like 3 different names, and having this conversation with you now that 2 episodes have been uploaded, I've officially dubbed this the Corona ConvoCast. Which, if this format lasts beyond coronavirus, I'll just drop the corona and this will become the Your Other Brothers ConvoCast, where it's just a one-on-one conversation. So I think I think it works out well.
Actually, I like it. It
Yeah,
sounds
the
pretty
ConvoCast.
good. Dude, it's like it's on like tip of the tongue. It's like easy to say,
Yeah.
easy to remember. So I like it. 2 thumbs up.
Well, if you love that, 2 thumbs up. You're gonna love my sign off for this for this ConvoCast. Are
Oh
you ready?
God.
Are you ready for the sign off?
Okay.
Because
fine.
this is something I have yet to premiere on our 2 episodes. And Matthew, you are the perfect test subject to be the first one to receive this sign off. So first of all, this is Tom saying goodbye. Matthew, you want to say goodbye?
Yeah. Later's everyone.
There's Matthew saying goodbye. And y'all remember, you are not alone. Even the sparrow stays at home.
God.
We'll be back next time. Y'all,
I hate you. I hate you, Tom.
Stay at home, y'all. But this is what I want to say: stay at home, but stay connected. It's very important. See ya. That was great.